Morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good Super Bowl yesterday. I know it was a bum ASS game, but you know what? It is what it is. Can't win them all. And the Eagles look good. I mean, that defensive line was monstrous, to say the least. So, yeah, made my chili yesterday. Copied. I don't know if you saw my video, but I copied Homeboy's chili. It was a real good recipe, and everybody loved it. So I want to thank him for that. All right, so trying to make this quick. I got two I want to talk about this morning. One's Chipotle, and the other is Rocket Lab. Let's do Chipotle first, since I already got it up. Information for Rocket Lab, but I got a little bit for Chipotle. So let's take a look at Chipotle, because Chipotle is one of my favorites, and it's not looking so good right now, and I think we're going to continue lower. And let's talk about it. All right, we got to go. All right, so Chipotle, as you can see, is getting below our moving averages here. Our trade winds are starting to head down a little bit and force it down. The pre-market, we're looking at about opening up about $57, which will put us. Our low here was 56.84, so, and it closed at about 57.27. So it looks like we're going to open below our close, which will put us below our doji. So it's going to open up around 57.10, which should put us below our doji here when it opens up. And in that case, if it opens up even lower, then most likely we're going to come back down and retest this 55.65 area. And if that should happen, then most likely if it doesn't hold, then we're going to head lower. And I think that our next stop is going to be here at about 47.98, which is about the same distance as this pullback here. All right. And then I'm looking at Yahoo Finance, and they're kind of on the same page where they're saying, should we buy the dip? All right. So I went to Yahoo Finance to kind of look into Chipotle's earnings report, and they had this article here that was put out by the Motley Fool, but it's on Yahoo Finance, and they're talking about Chipotle and the year and how it started, but the thing that kind of caught my eye was the cost of sales rose 70 basis points to 30.4%, which to me sounds kind of high, and right, due to wage inflation. And then the other thing was also, as I read through here, their stores, they have looking ahead 25 source overall tariffs with. So right here it says looking ahead, Chipotle expects full year 2025 same store sales to grow in low to mid single digit range. Management plans to increase prices about 2% on the year. With the new administration tariffs making headlines, the company also noted its sources about 2% of its sales from Mexico and less than 0.5% from Canada and China. Overall, tariffs would impact the cost of goods by about 60 basis points implemented, but Chipotle can fully offset them in the second half of the year through supply chain efficiencies. So I'm wondering, okay, what are supply chain efficiencies? Are they going to try to open, get more support with their ingredients? Are they going to start cutting back on people? But they do plan on opening up more stores. Here's right here. Chipotle opened 119 new company-owned locations in the quarter and 300 in 2024. It plans to open 315 to 345 new restaurants this year. That's a lot of restaurants. And so to open up that many restaurants, most of the Chipotles that I've seen are kind of like in these little shopping centers, so they're not like they're really opening up their own, building their own building, and they're buying land or whatnot. whatnot to do it. I don't know of 345 if they're going to be in shopping centers or whatnot, or if they're going to be like with drive-throughs and have all that stuff too. Here, as they talk about it, long-term Chipotle will continue to be one of the restaurants industry biggest winners. The company is drawing in increased traffic while showing off pricing power. At the same time, it has a clear path to expand its store count. Based on these factors, investors should buy the dip. So that part right there, investors should buy the dip. So they're expecting a dip, and I expect a dip as well. And you can read through all this and get more gist of what they're talking about. But I think that looking at the chart on Chipotle, I am definitely think there's going to be a dip, and I think the dip's going to get us back down around $40 or so, maybe even lower than this 47. But we'll have to see how long it takes to have them, because right now it's just kind of chopping around here in this area and not really doing much. But if they want to open up 300 something stores, and I think they're probably waiting also on what's going to happen with the president and the tariffs, because that's going to cause them some inflation for them as well, some higher costs, I'm sure, on all the materials and everything else is going to take in order to, open up 300 some odd stores. All right, so that's all I got on Chipotle right now, but I expect it to continue to pull back. You can buy the dip as you want. Kind of wait maybe to see where the dip ends up at. As for me, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I kind of cut all my shares in half that I own, because it was give me that indication that it wanted to continue lower, so I wanted to wait and buy it back as it got lower. All right, next up is Rocket Lab, and Rocket Lab is this morning. It closed at about 27.22 on Friday. It closed 27.41 on Friday. And it looks like it's set to open up at about 27.95, so we're getting pretty close to our 28.58 area. So if we can get that close up above that today, or we can at least push up to this $30 area, then we know that we want to continue to go higher, and it's ready to start moving again, going higher and getting us above our 20-day and our 8-9 SMAs, and get that support to push higher. We got our 150 and our 200s coming up for some support. Still have this window open down here on Rocket Lab, and but we seem to be ignoring it for now. So we want to get back up above this 28.52, get a close above that $28.58 area, or even better, get a close above this $30 area, and then we know we want to continue going higher from there and retest this 33.34. We definitely need to get through that and above that, and a close and retest to show that we want to go higher to retest this area up here. All right, so that's what I got for Rocket Lab this morning. This morning it's preparing to open up higher, which is nice. It had a nice push up on Friday. I just don't think anybody wanted to hold over the weekend. And I'm kind of long term in it, so I held over the weekend, so wasn't too afraid. But you're always going to have that concern over the weekend, because you never know what news might come out and wreck the market. But I took a risk. I risked it, and I feel okay this morning. I don't feel too good about that Super Bowl I watched yesterday, but I feel good about Rocket Lab this morning. Yeah, poor Patrick, man, he got beat down. He had no blocking. Anyway, was it just me, or did it look like he had little kids blocking for him? It was just ridiculous, dude. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep an eye on Chipotle. It looks kind of weak right now, and I think it's gonna Um, it's not it's not accelerating to the downside. It's just kind of just kind of hanging around in that area. So that's the other thing too. I'm kind of wondering what's going on. What are they waiting for? So we'll see. Um, Maybe it'll accelerate to the downside at some point, or maybe it's just going to keep floating in limbo until they start opening up these new stores. All right, so that's all I got for now. Rocket Lab should open up green and head higher. Might get a little bit of a pullback to make sure there's no windows open, and then get up above that 28.58. If we get down below this 27.05 area, we want to make sure that it doesn't take out this 25.52, which is the low of this bar here. If it takes out that bar, then we're coming back down into here at 21.34, which I don't think is going to be the case. I believe this is going to be a good support area at 27.20, and we're going to continue to go higher. Even if it just chops around in here a little bit, I don't think it's going to take this bar out, because it definitely is a good support area for Chipotle, for Rocket Lab. So look to go higher in Rocket Lab. All right. That's all I got for now. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be careful out there. These markets are crazy.